Hello and welcome to this special edition of The Verified. I'm Mustafa Kedab. With me today is activist Madi Jobarteh of Edward Francis Small Center for Rights and Justice. Thank you, Mr. Jobarteh, for joining us.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Great. So, in the past few days, we have a new gala, sort of. In this time, it's not people complaining of looting what is their resources is now people complaining about robbing them their resources, essentially having to choose between data and food. Tell us about the recent events and why you felt, as part of the movement, Edward Francis Small Center for Rights and Justice, which your organization has found it necessary to be part of this process of holding PURA to account after they issued this so-called floor, whatever, price floor.
The floor price.
Yeah.
Thanks. So you see, for me, what is happening at PURA and what is happening within the GSM sector, mobile and internet services, reflects the greater malaise confronting our society. That is about the effectiveness of government, about government performing its functions and acting according to the law, and of course in the public interest. So that what I have seen, like what this PURA issue manifests, is that the perennial problem we've had in this country, not just from 2017 or even 1994, but going all the way back to 1965, is the failure of government to perform its functions. And this is why service delivery, and not just service delivery, but quality service delivery, whether it's public goods and services or from the private sector, have been limited, erratic, expensive, poor, and not available, accessible to all Gambians. And this fundamentally is a failure of government, in ensuring effectiveness, efficiency, accountability. All right. So that when you look at the GSM sector, my observation is that since the GSM companies came to this country, they've been abusing Gambians. That is, Gambians are paying for goods and service, but not getting that value for money. So people buy credit for their phones. They buy phones in order to make calls. And I call you, the next door, the line is cracking, the line is breaking, the line is not good. And we always say the network is not good. And we normalize it like, and we don't even connect that to to service providers or even to PURA. We just say network is not good. I'll call you back, or let me call you with this other line, as if this is something natural. Yes. Or you buy data, you want to upload a video or download a video, watch a movie, whatever, do an WhatsApp call, same problem. Why? And then we have PURA mandated to make sure that these GSM companies give Gambians value for money, quality services. And that is not happening. All right. But what is obvious is that GSM companies are making profits. Yes, they are making profit. And that is from Gambians. But then there are many parts of the Gambia, you cannot get connectivity. Whether it's telephone or internet. For all the GSM companies. And when you look at the topography of this country and all other characteristics, Gambia is not a difficult terrain for internet and telephone connectivity to be a problem.
No largely advanced weather, no mountains.
So the only issue is GSM companies want to take money from Gambians, but they don't want to invest in the necessary infrastructure and tools and so on, so that they will give government quality services. And then we have PURA ignore that. And then they come to take a decision like the decision they've taken a week or two ago to say the cost of data should be minimum $50 because I think Comium came and made a good offer, and the big ones, not wanting to lose out, also came to make an offer. In the process, consumers enjoyed cheap price. Even if the connectivity is not good, it remains the same.
Yeah.
But at least they enjoy cheap
Well,
price.
where I am, Comium is good.
Yeah. So since these days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been good.
Yeah. No, that's another matter because before the Gala and Team Gomsa Bopa protest on Friday, August 22nd, up to that time, all right, the connectivity has been the same because that very week before that, I complained on Facebook about the poor connectivity in Kempuche.
Yes.
I cannot watch my videos.
Yes.
Africell had to contact me and even send someone to check our systems there.
Yeah.
But amazingly, from Monday, at least from Monday, August 25th, to now, the connectivity is so excellent that I am able to watch my Netflix movies at home with good quality picture. So these days I'm like, and I've even asked few other people, I said, but have people noticed how good the connectivity is? So something must have happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and for me that validates it vindicates these youths that indeed these companies, they've been cheating customers. Yeah, they're not giving us the value for money. And so
the value for money is one thing, but also data is quite expensive in the Gambia, even compared to Guinea-Bissau. I mean, I've been to Guinea-Bissau. You go and buy 1,500 CFA. It takes you. It's like when Comium came and introduced the data for their 200, 190 or something like that. That data is super good also.
Okay. I'm not familiar with.
Yes, Comium. You don't use Comium. Well, I have thrown away my other card and I use Comium now. Okay. Sorry, I'm doing an advertisement for them. But in any case, anyway, also expensive nature of data.
So I saw an analysis from another source. I think Guinea-Bissau, Senegal, and
Senegal certainly,
and around Sierra Leone, and so all the countries they have cheaper data than the Gambia around us.
In Senegal, for example, if you buy data here, the $200 equivalent, you buy data, you will be able to watch your videos. Go to Senegal, sleep there, watch your videos, YouTube, 24 hours, and come back.
Yeah. No, even more than that, because I remember a couple of months ago going to Dakar, through Karang, bought 1,500 CFA.
Yeah.
I must have spent, at least 3 days or maybe 5 days in Dakar.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to replenish.
Yes.
I came back with it to Karang.
It's like that.
And continuously I'm online.
Yeah.
So clearly, the GSM companies have been cheating Gambians. And PURA, which should come to the aid of Gambians, decide to side with the GSM companies. But this story is the same story of the Gambia, where public institutions fail to perform their functions. Yes. And whether it's the police or whether it's the ministries or whether it's other agencies, that has been the trend. And that, for me, is a violation of the law. It's a disregard of the law. It's abuse of office. And, it's disregard of public interest. And beneath all of that is just corruption. Because why would PURA, a public institution, with a very clear mandate in the law, PURA Act, you still want to side with companies, telecom companies, against consumers? So something must be playing on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
there are being a lot of claims underneath that they're trying to protect the major players in the industry.
Yeah. There's no doubt about that. I mean, And so that's why, for me, this matter is significant. And the youths are vindicated because even the Gambia Consumer Competition Protection Commission came to say the PURA decision is bad.
It's wrong. Yeah.
A lot of industry experts said the same. And now the fact that the president himself set up a committee, a so-called high-level committee, clearly tells that, yes, they recognize that's a problem. Yes, but I mean, the scandalous thing is, why would we sit there and not deal with this from the very beginning? And then secondly, you set up that commission, yet you have people in jail who actually came to, stand against this, which triggered that this so-called.
So before we get to the committee and the gala and the protest, let's deal with also the significance of data, because we tend to underestimate this a lot. It's connected to freedom of expression. It's connected to access to information, because these days internet is a whole different. It's food.
Yeah.
For democracy.
I mean, just a few days ago, having a conversation with someone, you are always online. I said, yes, we should all be online.
Yes.
I said, imagine during the days of Jawara.
Yeah.
All right, the First Republic, or even the part of when Jammeh was here before all this internet came. Things happen in National Assembly. People in Boraba, they wouldn't know.
Yes.
But today you can watch the live stream on National Assembly website. I said, do you know how many people are now calling from Sweden? There are people in Janjambure through WhatsApp calls.
Yes.
That is because of internet. In the past, you count, your child or family member is in America. How many times you will talk to that person in a year? Now you can talk multiple times in the day.
You can see the person.
Yeah, and not just talk, you can even see the person. So, so the significance of all of that is now we can challenge policy, we can challenge decisions, we are aware of decisions, and so it has made governance, popular participation in governance more convenient, more, stronger, and so on. I said, but apart from that, I said, do you know how many young women and men are in business, selling their products on their WhatsApp status or TikTok? They would have to have somewhere working all over Banjul, taking their wires to show people, but now they just put it on their WhatsApp. So I've seen ladies selling products because it's on their status. They make the deal there. Somebody comes to collect, or they bring the products now, and they pay by Wave. I say I buy things through Wave now, and Wave is possible because of internet.
We just bought cash power
because of internet is political, is economic, is social, is cultural, is religious,
it's become
education
right now.
Yeah. So that is where I ended with her. I said, I now consider internet
right to internet a human
right as a fundamental human right, but also I classify internet in the same value as air.
Yeah.
For human life.
Yeah.
That's how internet has become now. So that internet should be made free. It should be a right that government, given the value of internet, the political, economic, social, culture, everything. I said I would have loved
and value of it to governance.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The political, everything. I said I would have said we mount poles, Wi-Fi poles. Baro had said that they will do that in Brikama. I hope he actually does that. But we put so that anywhere you are in the Gambia, you have access to internet, just like you have access to air, and then we all compete for other things. It would have facilitated business and everything else. All right, everyone can bring your business online, because you see, Mustafa, when you look at it now, who are the biggest oligarchs, wealthiest people in the world now?
Yeah, tech people.
Tech people. Because at the end of the day, vehicle manufacturers, farmers would have to produce something and sell. Somebody has to produce this phone and sell.
Yeah.
Somebody has to manufacture this chair and sell. But now the tech people have overtaken all of them, because they don't manufacture anything.
Yeah.
They just allow you to take your groundnut or your mobile on your car.
Like Amazon.
Yeah. So they just facilitate you to move it. Immediately they produce nothing, yet they have become the richest.
Yes, but also there is one thing also, and I think people don't think of it like that. Protest. It has revolutionized protest, because when people take to Facebook and complain, that's protest.
Yeah. So
they're not necessarily at Westfield, but they are protesting.
So it has expanded protest, freedom of expression, freedom of assembly. It's a platform to mobilize, but also to say your piece. I mean, your mind and your opinion. And all of those impact on our governance, on our development, on policy making, So internet is this great enabler. Like I said, it's like ultimately the very survival of our society is contingent on internet. All right. So if we should have therefore internet service providers, one thing the government should be intolerant with them is that, there should be zero tolerance for poor quality. Zero tolerance for poor quality. And zero tolerance for any limitations, so that internet should be available anywhere in the Gambia, so conveniently and readily accessible, so that everybody enjoy it, because internet saves lives. Internet is good for those in the schools to educate themselves. I mean, the work of journalists, the work of rights defenders, the work of policymakers. I mean, because it allows you to access information, it allows you to access analysis, in such a way that it can only make it efficient if you know how to use it. I mean, you look at AI now, and everyone should have access to AI just to make you efficient, and so on. So, I mean, when you look at the significance of the internet, therefore, and you look at what is happening in the Gambia, you see clearly the GSM companies and PURA are limiting the ability of Gambians to enjoy internet as it should be enjoyed. And that should concern everyone, and particularly the government. So internet is a great enabler.
And another thing I didn't quite get was PURA organizes consumer parliament, for example. And they deal with consumers all the time. So, because they are a public utility regulatory authority. How comes they did not welcome these young folks to say, okay, come, just like they would welcome consumer parliament? Because folks are coming to say service delivery is bad and we want improvement. And they didn't welcome them. What must have gone through their mind?
No, clearly, because
you were there on the day.
I was there. They could have come down to pick the petition. They could have said, okay, come, let your reps come and go up. You have a conversation. One, I think it shows the arrogance in our public institutions, public officials. To bring yourself down, to realizing that you are a servant of the people, that you have an obligation to respond to the people's concerns, no matter how, insensible you think those concerns are. But you have a duty to explain. And which is a big problem with our public officers. We've seen that. Police officers arrested people just because you disagreed with them, and so on. Now they've done these consumer banter bars. It's been a while though. They've not had any.
The last they have done, as far as I can remember, reported in the news, was in December 2024. They convene whatever.
Yeah.
They call
So,
it.
but the thing is, the consumer parliaments have not been helpful, because decisions are taken there by consumers, thinking that PURA would take them up, but it does not happen. So that you look at the utilities, people have talked about the high cost of water and electricity, but also the availability of it, accessibility of it. And people have not succeeded. Instead, tariffs continue to rise.
But in this case, their job was just being done for them. PURA is existed to protect the public interest. And to ensure that service delivery is effortlessly okay, and that the people have value for their money, and that the service delivery is the delivery is smooth and everything, and the access is good. And here, that was being done for them.
Yeah.
But they intervene and somehow says, no, you cannot do better than this one.
Yeah.
You can do better, but you cannot do better than this one.
Yeah.
Like, it seems to be contradictory, isn't it?
Yeah, GSM company, they help them. I mean, because they are giving cheaper, affordable services, I mein, cost to people. So, but yeah, I mean, PURA, one, I think PURA has not been efficient, you know, and effective, because they have not been able to contain the GSM companies to provide quality services, value for money. The same thing applies to NAWEC. We just don't need NAWEC lines all over the place, meters distributed all over the place. People require 24/7 uninterrupted electricity supply and water supply, and that is a big problem. People are paying cash power. You've paid it. I go and buy cash power. I've paid it in my meter. I bought cash power, $1,000 is there, and then I sit at home and there's no electricity. But I have paid already, and that also is, I mean, when NAWEC goes out, we all just, it doesn't even tick us. I mean, because we've normalized it. We think we think it is sort of natural, I guess, you know, and that is all the inefficiency of PURA. So I think PURA, and again, as I said this earlier, this is not just PURA, peculiar to PURA. This is the problem of our public institutions. You look at every sector of our institutions, our public institutions, in the service that they provide is always limited, erratic, poor, and where there is cost, very expensive.
But then the young people went there and they were arrested. You were there.
Yeah. I mean, again, you know.
How many people was arrested on the first day?
23
on the first day.
Yeah, on Friday, August 20.
Then the second day at the court.
Another 22.
Another 22 was arrested.
Yeah, you know.
All of them are, and also the court was particularly very ugly because at court there was tear gas, there was.
Yes.
And some people were badly injured, I think.
Yeah, including myself. I mean, with tear gas.
Yeah.
So two things. One, of course, is the problem of our public institutions.
Yeah.
But now we are dealing with the police. It's a issue of the police knowing their position and role in a democratic society.
Yeah.
Understanding the law and managing public assemblies. These are all three important elements that people need to have conversation about, especially coming at a time when we are supposed to be in what we call security sector reform. All right. So that in terms of the role, the position and role, so the police need to ask themselves, what is our purpose? What is our rationale? What is the concept of the police? All right. So that when you get to understand that, you realize that the police are there to maintain law and order. That's it.
But has this been a question of police not knowing their role, or their political paymasters want them to come heavy-handed? Because often there is a tendency in the Gambia to brandish everything as politically motivated. So they see every critical voice as an opposition.
Yeah. So meaning
civil society, journalists.
So the president or the president's party or government can see somebody like me as political an opposition or disagree with me.
Yeah.
Which is their right to say so, okay? But police has no reason, therefore, to arrest me for the opinion of the president or a politician or the government about me.
But calling you an opposition for just stating a contrary fact is in itself disingenuous.
Yes.
Because you are not actively in politics.
Yes and no. I mean, I may not be partisan, like, I mean, in terms of political parties.
Yeah, but they say it within that context.
Yeah.
Like if you say, I'm opposition, if I...
Yeah, so it can be in this disingenuity, like to, you know, want to discredit dismiss or, you know, mischaracterize, you know, try to legitimize, and then therefore legitimize some action.
Yeah.
But then the police, if they know their role and position, would realize that, okay, that is not our area. Did Madi violate the law, threaten peace? We are here to maintain the law. But it is every citizen's right to disagree with the president, to criticize the government, to protest and to assemble. So that the police makes the job also easier for them, because when you look at the protest on Friday before PURA building, after all, the police force, violence in arresting people, nobody threw a stone. No glass was broken. Even the officers who were acting,
there was
so
no
much
violent word.
no violent, no insult on them. There was no death or injury, and so on. So clearly,
there was only recruits, because I passed through the place. There were only recruits there without any riot gears and all those things,
and they were not attacked. So clearly, the people wanted to maintain peace, and their presence.
And I think themselves, they know that, because otherwise they would have had a different kind of presence.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but the people wanted to maintain peace, and the presence of the people there is perfectly within the law. So that is why the second part I was saying, police understanding the law, because you are supposed to enforce the law. So you got to know the law. And the law is that the Constitution in the first place, guaranteed the freedom of assembly. Now, there is a subsidiary law, the Public Order Act, which further defines how this is to be done. And this Public Order Act recognizes public assembly, that citizens have a right to assemble in a public place. But it provided only two conditions, which, if involved, should require a permit first. And these two conditions are, if that assembly has engaged in a procession in a public place. Before you do that, get a permit.
A group of people moving from one place to another.
Yes. You would need a permit. And then the second condition, it says, is if there is a public assembly and they have loudspeakers, in a public place, you also need a permit. So these are the only two conditions.
In the absence of that, you don't.
In the absence of that, you don't. So if you have a public assembly, they climb on top of trees. You don't need a permit for that. If you have a public assembly, they go to a restaurant and go and have food. You don't need, anything like that. So and so on and so forth. You don't need a permit to have people in a stadium to watch a football match, for example. So the law is very clear on what conditions should a permit be obtained, and the police, they know this, because police, they have lawyers. So if the police had, adjusted themselves or conducted themselves in line with the law, on that day, all they got to do is just stand there and watch over the people. If you see somebody throwing a stone, that is not part of public assembly. Riot is condemned in the Public Order Act.
But prior to the police, the everyday police officers who were there, who acted and arrested, prior to their actions, the police have already said on their Facebook page that this is an unlawful assembly. So this was before the assembly even. So the police didn't know the characterization of what was to happen. They just made a prior decision that this was any assembly at that place is illegal.
It's illegal. So again, the police understanding of the law. And it is very critical that the police understand the law.
But you don't think also, the police understands the law, but you do not think it's because the police are subjected to political leadership, they are subjected to political control. That's being all along the problem also.
Yes. And again, that one is about the law, it's about also knowing your role and position, so that the IGP, for example, may be appointed by the president and can be removed by the president. Okay. But the Constitution, as well as the Police Act, they are based on the norms that the IGP is not under the direction and control of any authority or person.
It's supposed to be impartial.
And guided only by the law, professional, standards and ethics, and by their conscience.
But in practice, this is rarely the case.
So again, it goes back to the original point I was making: the failure of our public institutions to uphold the law. Because anyone can give an excuse. I've been appointed by the president. But the president doesn't own the police. The president appoints you because that is also the law that says so. But the president doesn't own the police. And you are not answerable to the president. You are answerable to the constitution and the laws established in this country.
Yeah.
Right. So that anyone who is IGP, and it is a big disappointment that since 2017 until now, the various IGPs, I think we've had about 3 or 4 IGPs, they have a duty.
This is the third one, I think.
Yeah, they have a duty. No, this is the fourth one. They have a duty to uphold the rule of law, to transform the police, all right, to make it a truly human rights protection institution, which is what the police is conceptually.
But that's what the security sector reform is supposed to deliver.
Yes.
But then again, like I said, also the police are a political institution, and often the politics always interferes.
No, they are a political institution only in the sense that the creation of the police is based on decisions that will be taken by, political institutions.
Yeah.
The office of the president, they are answerable to the National Assembly. I mean, they are subjected to
Ministry of Interior.
Yeah, and so
but they have their own laws to follow. But this is rarely the case.
Yeah, but again, this comes to the officials as individuals. I think what is in the law is that public officials should have integrity, should have character. In the Constitution, Section 222 talks about the duty of public officials. All right. And every public official need to read Section 222 so that you know as a public officer what is your duty. All right. And there's no excuse whatsoever for any public officer
to act unlawfully.
Whether the president appoints or yeah. So, but deliberately, and this is what we are seeing, deliberately, our public officials abandon the law, abandon their conscience, and want to perpetuate, interest or decisions, actions that actually do not serve the people, but serve either certain individuals or certain businesses, and at the detriment of the people. And
you don't think it's also the mindset. So, for example, when you say a police officer says, I have powers, because in a democracy, the police does not necessarily have a power as an officer on its own. It's the law that has power. So the police officer is assumed to be acting on the basis of law.
Yeah.
So, but often the police act on basis of orders, and not all those orders are in compliance with the law.
Yeah.
So the police, they say we have orders.
Yeah.
But they don't often go to say, what do the law say about these orders?
Yeah. But it is also established in international law that you are not required to follow an unlawful order. And if you do, you take personal responsibility.
Yeah.
We just saw Michael Sankoria sentenced to 67 and a half years.
Yes.
And I'm sure what he did, most of it was an order given by a superior officer.
But don't we need political reform, Mad? I have seen a police officer at the gate of the court going around with a tear gas canister in his hand.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
And up to this second, there is no consequences.
Yeah.
Immediately after the presidential elections, Dabo was sick. They threw barrage of tear gases in his house.
Yeah.
I was working at the Gambia Press Union going home. I left at that place that day very late. Even when I arrived at that place, at that time I was walking, there was still stench of tear gas in the air. And the police are known for that heavy handling.
So this culture of abuse, Mustafa, this culture of abuse is what our citizens have been enduring during the colonial period and since we gained independence until today. We are yet to have a democratic republic where the state upholds the rule of law, restrain, because the whole concept idea of the rule of law is to restrain the state to act within the law, within, in legal terms, within the powers. When we say powers is ability and legality you have to do a certain action or take a certain decision. So you have powers to do certain things, but that is not unchecked power or power that you gain from. So it is power that the law, as you said, the law has given you.
Yeah.
So that you can go and arrest.
Yeah.
You have that power.
So
to
the
go
power is not onto the individual.
Yeah.
It's the law that has
the law. So you are acting on the basis of the law.
Of the law.
Now, what our experience has been, public officials
and caprices.
Right, they ignore the law, the terms of the law, because in the law it will always set the terms, the standards, the obligations. For example, you have power to arrest, Section 19 of the Constitution, but it is telling you, even though you have this power to arrest, if you arrest somebody within 3 hours, you should inform this person why he is arrested in the language that this person understands.
Yeah.
So that is rule of law.
Yeah.
So that there's no arbitrariness. You don't act according to whims and caprices that I can go and arrest Madi and then go home and have my attire.
You don't think also because of the education of our people, maybe mindset of our people that we've endured in the 22 years also. But this has been here even since
beyond that, yeah. So our failure also, I mean, to try to also explain or understand this reality, is that we are yet to create a citizen, a true citizen, a sovereign citizen.
Or are we also inherently Gambians are inherently intolerant? Because I mean, it seems to be the case that even when you disagree with a Gambian politically, you are cancelled.
Yeah.
Like you are cancelled.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. So that all amounts to that lack of political awareness to build that sovereign citizen, so that you are aware of your rights and duties. And part of understanding those rights and duties is to be open to divergent and dissenting opinion, so that is not considered to be enmity or I don't know, things like that. So we have not had that kind of civic awareness.
Disagrees with me is an opposition.
It's an opposition.
Or that I cannot speak any truth that benefits him.
Yeah. So I mean, and you see that. I mean, like I always say, Gambians, we are all little dictators. You know, it's not just but we are. And, Alaji Paro says it's better.
Yeah.
The dictator is us.
Yeah.
So it's the failure or the lack of that civic awareness that we never have until now, even though we created a civic education council some time ago, underfunded, I mean, neglected and so on. And so a certain kind of culture rooted in patriarchy, rooted in deep-seated socio-cultural beliefs that religious misconceptions,
beliefs,
that are based on domination and conquest and discrimination and cancel culture, so that we are really at this point to the point that we cannot even have a conversation. And therefore those who have power in that kind of society, the only thing that is those in office, is only to abuse their power, because they are not different from you and I, and we all believe if I criticize you, you cannot take it. As an ordinary citizen. Now, what if, and we are all the same, what if about the president you criticize him, and he has the ability to tell somebody to arrest you? They'll arrest you.
Yeah, absolutely. So the president actually has just set up a committee to say it's going to deal with the subject matter. What do you think of it? I mean, of course, we have a Consumer Protection Commission on it.
Well, from both political and technical points of view, the first was from a political point of view. This committee is triggered by the protest. So to set up this protest, and in their statement even mentioning their concern for public concern and so on, yet you have individuals under charge in jail. It's disingenuous.
Instead of they have done the right thing,
or
they have had the right concerns, but on the other hand, we can still arrest them because they.
So I think it's rather disingenuous and for me illegitimate. I mean, all right, but also to understand that this has been the political tactic of the president. Every issue that have come up here, Aki, situation, the Gambian assets, even the petroleum saga, you're like, I'll wait for the report. So everything is about, okay, we will set up a commission, or National Assembly has set up a commission, so we'll have to wait for a report, but then no action is done for the issue itself.
Yeah.
Right. So particularly, I'm wary of this decision, and personally, I hold the committee to be illegitimate. Indeed, given the circumstances, the political situation. But from a technical point of view, also, this is a competition issue. All right. In which case, for me, the primary institution to deal with this is the Gambia Competition, and Consumer Protection Commission,
which has already taken a position on the matter.
Which has taken a
just leave companies to compete.
Yes. So so this is a matter for them to deal with. So if they want to let companies compete, so let them be. So PURA, for me, has overstepped its bounds and then taken a decision that harms consumers, but does not really serve the the interests of quality, for example, quality services, and certainly it harms the interests of consumers because of price, because of quality. So in that case, it is just empowering the GSM companies. So it is maintaining a situation or creating a situation in which internet will remain the challenge that it has always been in the Gambia: expensive, poor quality, accessibility, availability becoming difficult, and which is really concerning.
So what's going to be the way forward? I mean, for organizations that are part of the protest, EFSCRJ,
and Team Gomsa Bopa,
and Gala.
Yeah. So the petition that was to be submitted,
you couldn't submit it on the first day.
Yeah.
Even before the arrest.
Yeah.
And PURA, I think they seem to not have come to work that day because the place was closed and there were no cars parked in front of the building.
Yeah. They could have. They may have stayed at home, or took their vehicle somewhere else and maybe locked themselves up, which is very unfortunate. I mean, as a public institution, they should be open to public scrutiny.
Yeah, especially ones who hold consumer parties.
Yeah. So the petition provided an ultimatum within 72 hours to rescind their decision. So apparently that is not the case. The decision still stands. So the position of these three organizations is that we have to go back to PURA. Yes, a response has to be obtained.
So when is that likely to be?
Well, I think in the circumstances now is to secure the release of all these people.
How many people are currently in jail?
Yeah. So
the ones that are in Mile 2, who are in Mile 2?
Mile 2 are 23. So hopefully they should be released today. 23.
That's including Killer Ace, Flex Dan,
Lavinci, Galas, Get Open, and others. Yeah, so 23. So hopefully they will be released today. Those
are the ones who were arrested at the court.
No, these are the ones arrested before PURA, in front of the PURA.
In front of PURA.
Yeah. So the ones arrested at the courthouse on Monday, the 22. Were bailed on Tuesday. Released.
That involves Omar Kamara and others.
Yes.
Okay.
So meaning if we got these ones out today, then nobody would be in detention.
But they still have charges.
Yes. So
they're charged with illegal possession.
Unlawful possession, they say.
Yeah.
Which is bogus. And then of course the others on Monday who were arrested: common nuisance and obstruction.
Obstruction of what?
Of the police van from leaving the court to take those people to Mile 2.
Yeah.
So
and that's when they started
the tear gas. Yeah. So
how many people were suffered? I mean, I saw you were affected heavily.
Yeah.
But also there was a lady.
Yeah.
Who was heavily affected also. She was put on a stretcher and taken away.
Yeah. So I mean, I think journalists, about 3, 4, or 5 journalists were also hospitalized.
Yeah.
And others, a number of people were taken to the Red Cross. I was taken to Westfield, and I found in the room I was two people. So you now have also uninvolved individuals.
Yeah.
So for example, at Westfield, I found this lady who was in fact in a more severe condition than I.
Who had no relationship.
Yes, I understand she just came to buy some medicine at the pharmacy, and then just happened to be in this. There's a baby, case of a baby and a child, and I think an old woman who sells some things by the roadside also. Yeah, so I think that
the tear gas was thrown away
indiscriminately. Yeah, so
some folks run
yeah.
to.
So this is a legal issue. I think action should be taken. Legal action should be taken for such misconduct. I think complaints should be lodged with the National Human Rights Commission. So these are all things.
The National Human Rights Commission has also asked the government to.
Yeah, to release, and withdraw the charges. Yeah. So
but the government has so far shown no interest.
No response, in fact.
To withdraw the charges.
Yeah.
So they just grant them bail.
Yeah, the charges remain.
The charges.
Yeah. So I mean.
How many were charged to court?
23, only 23.
But the initial one, Omar's team, is not charged.
No, not before the court. They are police charged.
They are police
charged.
charged.
At the level of the police.
But the 23 who were taken to Mile 2 were
charged before the
court.
Yeah. You know. So I think there will be a lot of follow-up. There should be accountability. Yes, for the actions of the police in the manner of arrest and detention, as well as the deployment of tear gas. But further, there are a lot of issues that have also emerged during this detention, the detention conditions. Yes, we've had instances where some of those arrested were minors, and they were, put in the same cells with the adults. We have instances where women were put in the same cell with men, at Caraba Station. And then, of course, the general conditions of the cells. So these are all issues. Food, So, I mean, of course, they wouldn't provide food at the cells. And, people, they didn't deny anyone. People were bringing food. Yeah, so gala members were making sure all the detainees were.
But there were folks who were taken to Mile 2 and Mile 2.
Yeah,
and
so equally.
Mile 2 with remand, you can bring.
Yeah, you can bring food. Yeah, so Mile 2 also, gala was constantly providing meals for the inmates, but also family members were bringing food. So they were not denying.
They are saying somebody is sick.
Yes. I think 2 cases. I think that was. I think that is an asthmatic person. One and two today. One other person. One Bakari Sanyang was hospitalized also at Mile 2. All right, so we have those cases, and then of course 4 of them went also on hunger strike, from Monday when they were detained, Killer Ace and Flexdan and Lamin C and Galas Sisse. So this matter raises a lot of human rights issues and security sector reform issues. Yes, and I think all of this in the aftermath of it are things to be dealt with. So
it's not much has changed in terms of the conduct.
So as far as EF Small Center is concerned, together with them, but also as individually, we will take up all of this with the police, with the Attorney General, and with the National Human Rights Commission.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, just finally, we've been here for long. The issue of National Human Rights Commission, they've been actually doing prison visits and they've been making reports on some of these issues, but they've not been fixed. I mean, do you think there's political will to also address some of these issues?
Yeah, so
because even the issue of police violence is not new.
Yeah, so they are not being fixed, and to be fair to them, the National Human Rights Commission has raised a lot of issues and provided a lot of recommendations and advice. They have this thing called advisory notes, and they've raised these things, but apparently nothing has changed. But that is the job of the National Human Rights Commission. They have to come back. Yes, so it is not once to raise these things, but they have to strengthen their enforcement as much as they can.
So regarding the charges of these young people, what's the way? What are
Well, we have a team of lawyers. Providing service.
Legal services.
Yeah. So and they are determined to stand for this youth. So the matter is coming back on September 11. So the legal team is pretty much intact.
I mean, what's the significance of this? Because at this point, of course, you're going to fight the charges, get these young people released. But then the way forward, from there, what happens?
Yeah, so I think it's to maintain this momentum, to strengthen it. How to generate citizen participation, bearing in mind the demand, the
limiting to data or
no. I mean,
or outside of data.
Yeah, I think outside of data. I think as I said earlier, the fundamental problem we've had in this country, for me since independence, is the failure, the inability, or the refusal of public institutions, public officials, to uphold the law, perform their functions, and serve public interests.
You've also talked about arrogance, the refusal to listen to the public.
Yeah, of course, because that abuse of power generates that arrogance to feel that you are too big to be questioned, to be challenged by your citizens. I mean, that is an attitude we see in our public officials, not today, but for a long time. So what is evident is that therefore this country has to change. That we have a law, that is a constitution, we have laws, we are supposed to be a democracy, and we elect people and appoint people, put them into public office to manage our resources and affairs in order to create shared prosperity for everyone. And now 60 years down the line, what we are seeing is inequality, injustice, poverty, deprivation of all kinds across the board. And meanwhile, the resources are here. You are providing a single minister a $12 million vehicle, not to mention another vehicle for your family, and so many things. So why is there poverty and injustice and deprivation in this country? It is simply because public institutions are failing to perform their functions according to law. To abide by the law, to secure public interest. So for me, I perceive this momentum in that perspective. So whether it's the Gambian assets, whether it's the petroleum crisis, whether it's the Aki debts, or whether it's this data issue with PURA, it all is within that framework. So this momentum has to be preserved and built.